I'm about to send out my first Claude API. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, so let's go ahead and find out. So, if you've been following me on this series, I'm basically walking everybody through how they can prepare for the Claude Certified Architect Foundations exam. We're planning to go ahead and actually do this as a group. All the resources are going to be here in this online product management community that we have on something called WAP. And then, if you don't know how to access it, just go over to the YouTube description here. And underneath schedule consultation, there's something called WAP community. Just click on this link, come on through, and let's get it. So, all right. Says, so I'm going to go to the console right now. And I'm just gonna pump that in. Now I'm not gonna lie, I already actually did some of the future steps, but originally I did have to go to a sign-in page. So this is the Claude console, a little bit different than your regular Claude chat, and it is asking me to go out there and add $5 in API credits, which I did not add $5 in here, but I guess it was already in there. It's pretty cool. And then the next thing here is go to Colab Research Google to go researchgoogle.com, sign into your Google account. And I basically have that right here. When all three are done, say I am ready. And I'm going to let it out. I am ready. I am at the console. I have the API key. I have already added $5 in API credits. And I have also popped open the collab.research.google.com, and I have already signed into my Google account. What are the next steps so I can send off my first Claude API? Okay, so it says step 1 is name your notebook. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to go back, and I am going to go ahead and actually create a new notebook. And I'm going to do the following. Give me a second. Okay, all right. So I think this one is it because it just said that. Holy moly! I actually didn't. I've been so locked in. I haven't realized it's 12:50 a.m. right now, champs. So now inside the Claude cell, you'll see a blank cell on the screen. It looks like an empty text box with the play button on the left. So I'm assuming is this bad boy right here. And then I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Click inside the cell and paste this. Python. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to add this in here. Press the play button to the left. Wait until you see a check mark appear. And then I'm going to press the play button. Okay. And then you'll see a lot of text scroll by. That's normal. Ignore it. And then paste your first API call. So click plus code at the bottom left to add a new cell and paste exactly this. Where the heck? Okay, I'm just going to close that out so I can get a bigger screen. this is actually where we're starting to run into trouble. Okay, click the plus code button on the bottom left to add a new cell. And where in the hell is that? Okay, I'm assuming it's that. I'm going to paste this. With your actual API key. If you're recording this, pause the recording before you paste your key and then press play. What you're about to see in about 3 seconds will be something like this. So yes, this API call worked. Now you're communicating with Claude directly through an API. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go here. So now I'm gonna go back. And I already have this. So I'm assuming right now, I'm gonna go ahead and actually get my API key here, which unfortunately, this is not OnlyFans. I cannot show you this. So I'm gonna get the API key, and where it says paste your key here, I'm gonna go ahead and actually paste my key here. So let's get it. Now, this is actually what I can show you, is that I originally thought this was actually, I was like, this can't be the API key, right? But you have to go out there and create the API key here. But something that is really important for us to know, okay, and I can call the key name whatever it is that I want, is create the API key. A long string is going to come out. This is your actual API key. It'll look something like this. Copy it immediately and paste it somewhere private, a notes app, a private document, anywhere safe. Do not close the window until you have copied it. Anthropic will never show you that key again after you close this window. If you close it without copying, the key is gone forever. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask it one more question, is, can I also just go ahead and change the key name to anything that I want, or do I have to use what's already provided for me? This is actually where I get a lot of troll comments from like technical people, but like the truth is, like, you know, currently I think there's anywhere between 19 to 33 million users for Claude. Probably like most of that percentage is going to be people that use Claude Chat, but there's a whole community of us that wants to use Claude Code. And when I take a look at a lot of the content, like the curriculum that I basically see here, where I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. I'm not going to call out any particular instructor. I'm not saying like all 4 of them are like this, but a lot of the content, a lot of the people tell me that the content seems very uninspiring, at times can be condescending. I'm not saying the whole thing is condescending, but there are little tidbits like, yeah, you know, like, we're too fucking cool. Like, if you guys weren't such fucking idiots, you'd fucking, like, I mean, if we knew it, I mean, we wouldn't be fucking watching your ass, right? I'm not saying the whole video is like that, but there are little nuggets where the user feels like that. And we actually have to help the general population catch up, because nobody's arguing in 2026 that these skills are necessary, but the education that exists is so bad, so unfollowable, so uninspiring, so difficult to just follow. Like, getting paid to do this, you might as well just do it well. So like the name is just a label for you to remember what it is, has 0 effects on how the key works. My key name for you, let's go ahead and actually find out. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually grab my key. I'm gonna go ahead and punch it in, and we're just gonna go out there and see what happens. And you know, it'll be, I need to get to bed soon. It's like 12:50. Now, boom, just like that, it worked. So I'm gonna say what Claude told me to do. I just sent a message directly to Claude's brain, not through Claude AI, not through a chatbot, but through the API to talk back. That response at the bottom is not a chat bubble. That is a structured data package coming back to Claude's Anthropic servers. This is how every AI product in the world starts. Wow. So I fired off my first API call. I can't even explain to you how it feels right now. I lost my Claude API virginity at 1:03 in the morning. I could say I don't feel any different, but it happened. Wow. What you're looking at the bottom, okay, text block, the format says like hello. If you guys did that, it actually does say like hello, the API, this API call works successfully. Claude's actual response. Text equals this, how's your system? Now, one critical thing to go ahead and do right now, go back and delete your API key from the code. Your API key is visible in this recording and replace it with this. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and actually do. Your API here. Do that before you share the video. The next 3 moves is find this line in your code, content. Okay, so I'm going to do all this now. Okay, so here's what I've basically done. It told me to go ahead and actually replace the API key. So right here where it says API key equals, I said basically your API key is here. And then the next thing here is it says search for this line content, say hello and tell me this API call worked. This API call worked successfully, blah, 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 blah. And it actually had that down here, but it told me to go ahead and actually replace this part, which I did. And it says replace it with what is the most important skill for a tech career coach to have in 2025? And I'm just going to say, because we're in 2026, to just say 2026. But then just to make sure that I got it right, I popped in a screenshot for that. And I'm going to ask it one more question, which is, can I say 2026? What's the most important thing for a tech career coach to know in 2026 instead of 2025, since we're halfway through 2026 already? Okay, so let's go ahead and actually press play and let's see what comes back. Error, authentication error, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to explain the error. Give me a second here. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to let it know. I'm just going to move my face a little bit more up top. And I'm going to click this thing off. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to let it know. I'm getting an error coming back. Can you go ahead and tell me what's wrong with this so I can go fix it? Okay, now let's go ahead and actually replace it. I can't show you that. Alrighty, so I fired off the message again. This time I used my API key, and it's basically, I asked like, what's the most important skill for a tech career coach? And it actually said, there's a thoughtful question. I'll give you my honest perspective rather than a definitive answer, since most important involves judgment. My best answer is adaptive pattern recognition across a shifting landscape. This means the ability to quickly distinguish between hype cycles and genuine shifts. So true. Which AI tools matter in 6 months versus 6 years, transferable skills versus soon, obsolete specifics, what clients think they need, versus what will actually serve them, why this over other candidates. Some might argue for AI technical literacy, important, but a coach doesn't need to be a practitioner. Empathy, Coaching fundamentals essential but not unique in 2026. Network and strength valuable but somewhat commoditized. The honest caveat: I'm reasoning with trends. So it actually gave me all of this. So I popped it in here and I asked it. I said, "This is the answer that came back. I'm assuming I did it right." And it says, "Yeah." So I just asked Claude a real question through the API, not through Claude.ai and not through chatbot interface, and it gave me a full, thoughtful answer back. That response is a data package. Wow, I can take that text and display it in an app and save it to a database and feed it into another system or trigger an action based upon what it says. That's what makes this different than from just chatting with Claude. Ooh. While you're looking at that wall of text is Claude's actual answer, notice a few things. It's inside a structured package, not a chat bubble. It has a beginning and an end that your code can read programmatically. You control the entire output, change one word in your question, and the whole answer changes. Now, move 2, change the model. Find this in your line of code and change it to, okay, all right. So I'm going to pause here and let's find out what happens. So I changed it from Opus to Haiku, and this is the answer that it prompted back over to me when I changed the model from Opus to Haiku. I'm assuming I did this correctly. Give me your feedback and tell me what's next. The only thing that you change is one word, the model name. Move number 2. Same question, different model, different answer. This is actually why. The model selection is an entire exam domain. Opus and Haiku are not the same tool. They have different costs, different speeds, different reasoning depths. Choose the wrong one for your use case is like hiring a neurosurgeon to do a routine checkup, technically capable, a completely wrong economic decision. Haiku is the fastest and the cheapest. This one is on its balance. And then Opus is the slowest, most expensive. The exam will give you a scenario and ask you which model is most appropriate. The answer is almost never Opus. Opus is overkill for most tasks and costs significantly more. So read your token count. Find this in your line of code. Print message.content. Add a second line directly below it. Okay, all right. So I'm going to grab this. Press play and tell me what the second line prints back. Now, it's basically, if you go back to the code at the very bottom, they already have this called print message.content, and then right below that, it's print message.usage. I just added that. I'm going to hit play. I can't show you the API key apparently. And then let's go ahead and see what kind of results we get. Done, and this is the results that came back. Tell me what are the next steps. Input tokens 25, output tokens 287. Here's what that means in English. Your question to Claude costs 25 tokens. Claude's answer back to you costs 287 tokens. You are billed on both combined. This number right here, input tokens plus output tokens, is the billing meter for every AI product ever built. Every time your app asks a Claude question, the clock runs. Every word Claude sends back, the clock runs. Wow, it's amazing. We need to get into that business. Understanding this number is the difference between a profitable AI product and one that bleeds money at scale. The exam concept you just learned, this is called token economics. Here's the plain English version. A token is roughly 3/4 of a word. You pay for every token in, every token out. A longer system prompt equals more input tokens, higher cost per call. A verbose response, more output tokens equals higher cost per call. At scale, this adds up fast. Oh, I can feel it. If your AI customer support agent handles 10,000 conversations per day, each one uses 500 tokens. That's 500 million. That's 5 million tokens daily. Model choice and prompt length directly control the infrastructure costs. What you just accomplished in one session, mental models 1 through 4 built from scratch, first API calls sent and received, the model selection understood through direct experience, token economics seen live on screen, session log. Paste this at the start of the next session, May 24, 2026, cover, blah, blah, blah. Build complete, 3 most important concepts learned today, still unclear at the end of session what a system prompt is and how it differs from a user message, how token costs are highest priority topic for next session, system prompts, what they are, where they go in the API call, and why they are the foundation of every exam scenario. Wow, and I have all this information. Okay, exam readiness tracker, 5%. So this is actually why I basically set up Claude to be my own tutor, but this is what I do every single time we have to learn something new here. I did this for 11 Labs. I did this for Google Gemini. I always do this. Honest assessment, you're on track for week 1. You have the mental foundation. Next session, we add system prompt. And, man, dude. Let's get it, yo. But you see basically right here, the session log, we had this in our prompt from last time, right? So this is why I'm also documenting all of this information. You know, which is like, before we finish, give me a system log. I can paste at the start. So like now I know I finished an entire session today, and it's 1:20 in the AM, but we're still going strong. I'm gonna sleep very well. I still don't know what it is that I'm doing, but like I'm feeling a lot better about it right now than honestly going over this with these extremely inspiring instructors. This has actually been more fun. So if you have any questions at all, okay, go here, go to the WAP community, product management community. You don't even have to be a product manager to be in here if you want to learn these skills. It's free to go ahead and actually join. Come on through. What are you? Let's all kind of build it together. But like, I think we're just sticking on to the game plan of like working on the API portion first, and then Claude Code, and then MCP, and then the skills agent all the way at the very end. And I'm having more fun actually getting hands-on with this. Okay? See y'all very soon. I'm going to bed. And if anything else, you can always just go ahead and ping me on LinkedIn. All right? Thanks, champs. Don't give up. Let's do this together. I'm here to help. And then always, if you're ready to do the program, we have a team of mentors here that can totally come and just help you out. I'm crazy where I just wanted to do this thing on my own. Yeah.